Mic check, mic check. Are we coming in live tonight? Appreciate everyone for coming on in here. This is going to be a Friday night session. We're firing it up here late, quarter past 8 o'clock on the West Coast, 11 o'clock on the East Coast. We'll be taking this one probably 45 minutes out, running it up till midnight on the East Coast. And I appreciate everyone who stops by after the fact as well. Remember that I read all the comments. Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about the shows. We run them up live. We drop them, in the truck, in the studio, mixing it up and keeping it coming for you guys. I'm going to share this one out on Twitter real quick. While I'm getting started, I wanted to let everyone know I'm going to have links on down below for my website. And at my website, I have all of our community resources. Remember, I don't have sponsors. I just try to keep it real with you guys, and I try to give you guys the news, the current events, financial markets, break it down. Break it down. Make it simple for everyone to understand. And the way that you guys can support the show is by smashing the thumbs up, dropping a comment down below, sharing the content out far and wide, and that's free, and I really appreciate that. The other thing that you can do is you can go to my website, zachrector.com, to find all of the community resources, the private group. But I just secured a 10% discount for our community for the EliPal wallets. And so you can go to my website. I have EliPal and I have Trezor. Two options besides Ledger. That news is kind of, taking the crypto space by surprise this week. That Ledger having some issues losing our trust. And so many people looking for alternatives. I have two affiliates for wallets. And I'm not here to tell you what wallet to pick, what exchange to use. State by state, country by country, you're going to have, varying options on exchanges. And even for wallets, when you need to store different cryptos. The reason why I like EliPal, the reason why I like Trezor is they give us an option to store some of our favorites. And that's very important. And they're air-gapped, some of the best air-gapped wallets in the available for the space right now. So anyways, while I'm sharing this one out far and wide, I just wanted to let everyone know that I secured a 10% discount for our community on EliPal. Use the discount code WEALTH. WEALTH, all caps. That is our community's discount code for 10% off your order for EliPal. Trezor hit me up as well today, and they said that they have a permanent price drop on the Model T and some of the other favorite wallets from EliPal. Trezor. Trezor has done permanent price drops on the Model T and some of their other wallets. So the two affiliates that I have there, the only reason I do this is so that our community can get a discount, our community can get a deal. I'm not here to give anybody financial, tax, legal, or pick this wallet, pick this exchange. I'm not here to do that. Find what works best for you, what you understand, and what you need for what investments you're going to be making, and how savvy you are with this technology. With that being said, I wanted to just share this one out real quick. And if you guys haven't already, please share it out far. Let's get it rocking and rolling. Appreciate everyone. Here we go. I'm going to start off here. We're going to take a look at the markets. They're actually back up from the pullback that we had earlier today. We got a lot to cover. That's why I had to go live here tonight. I'm going to try to stay on point focused. We'll go through this as fast as possible, but I like to give myself some time to break these topics down, break these articles down, everything that we're covering, along with technical analysis too. I try to cover all of our bases here. That's why I do these live shows. I already dropped 2 videos today as well too. If you missed those, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content. And even if you do subscribe and hit that notification bell, sometimes things happen with YouTube for whatever reason. So just check on in. Every single day, we're going to bring it to you. With that being said, let's get right on into it, guys. Let's roll. Bitcoin, 42,342, back up from the lows here of 41,600 earlier today. So a big back test for Bitcoin, very healthy to see. Very healthy to see. Ethereum, same thing, back test, 2,200, back up to 2,250. XRP, 62 cents after bouncing back down at 60 cents. The thing about crypto, as I've always said, this thing moves much faster than the stocks, and what you're seeing is big time pullbacks that happen rather quickly, but then we recover just as fast. So this is why we have multiple relationships with these exchanges, keeping our crypto ready to go, whether that's a stable coin in USDC or Tether, making sure that our limit orders are set up, ready to go and execute upon these moves because they're coming in, they're very quick, and then they bounce back. The crypto market is showing incredible strength, but I'm remaining cautious because the broader economy on the macro level, the red alarms, the warning signals have been flashing. Almost all of them, even new ones. And a lot of the traditional signals and indicators of a recession coming are at elevated levels. We're going back to data points that we haven't seen in decades, that we haven't seen since the Great Depression. And so I try to break this all down while still remaining incredibly bullish on cryptocurrency long term. And to make just one last point on this before I continue on, even being positioned as someone who they want to call a bear. Oh, the bears are getting wrecked. I'm going to play a clip of Jim Kramer later here explaining how Jim Kramer is saying that the bears are getting wrecked. The bears are getting trapped. No. See, I'm considered a bear by these guys. I'm not trapped at all. I'm 100% liquid. We're still accumulating positions. And if you guys are right, if we go back bullish, turn back on the money printer, make it go burr, drop the rates, have a party, Powell fills back up the punch bowl, what do you think our crypto positions are going to be doing? Oh, I don't have my silver bars. I forgot my daughter was playing with my silver again. What do you think's going to happen to these assets as they've already shown you new all-time high? That's never been achieved. Well, gold's been around longer than the US dollar. So we pair all these assets up against the US dollar, as we've been saying. XRP is the standard. One XRP is always going to be one XRP. Is it going to cost you $1? Is it going to, the haters say it's going to be under $1 forever. It's never going to go anywhere. Is it going to cost you $10 to pick up an XRP? Is it going to cost you $10,000 to pick up an XRP? We're going to find out, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I always just talk my book. You guys know my positions. I got a big bag of XRP, few other cryptos, silver, cash, liquid, warning signals flashing. I just run my businesses every single day, and I'm staying ready to buy dips, pullbacks like we got today. But I'm staying cautious because I think that we got even more bloodshed in the streets. On the edge of my seat here every single day with you guys, ready to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. That's what we're doing. If you guys haven't already, please like the video. Please drop a comment down below. I'm going to be checking the comments periodically just to catch the vibe with you guys here on a Friday night session. And maybe if we're having a little bit of fun, we'll extend it out. We'll do some Q&A at the end of this show. Now, let's rock and roll. I don't know what's going on with the United States other than we're getting embarrassed back here at home and we're getting embarrassed abroad as well. Iranian Revolutionary Guard reportedly directs the U.S. Navy out of the Persian Gulf. Footage shows the IRGC dictating terms, leading to the swift withdrawal of the USS Eisenhower aircraft carrier developing situation. I don't even want to bring this up. It is just sickening and embarrassing for our country. There's also a video going around of some dudes doing something in D.C. I call it the DC dance for a reason. And they're doing something. It is unbelievable. I thought it was fake news. I'm just not even going to speak on it further than that. But you guys know what I'm talking about. If you haven't already, you can take a look at Twitter. They're doing the DC dance. And folks, we're getting embarrassed back at home. We're getting embarrassed abroad. Our currency is losing value rapidly. And our country is losing respect. And as an American, I'm embarrassed and ashamed to see what is taking place in this country and to see us get pushed around here by Iran, I guess, taking place. I don't know what sea. Oh, this was in the Persian Gulf. Sorry, this was in the Persian Gulf. Once again, the situation incredibly tense out here. And this hasn't been independently confirmed, but this is being reported that the United States is deploying military forces to Finland in preparation for war with Russia, potentially. I cannot independently confirm this right now, but this is what's being reported here from this account. The largest military deployments across Europe since the Cold War ended in 1991. This is a shifting situation that we continue to prey on, and I continue to prepare for. And what I keep on relating to is we have dozens upon dozens of black swan scenarios, some of which have already hit, some of which are already playing out. Market's just been so dang manipulated that the masses don't realize they're tuned into mainstream media, or they're watching the Kardashians, or they're watching their favorite, whatever, Netflix show. Meanwhile, something that got me a little bit excited here earlier today was Rosie Rios. And shout out to everyone who's joining us here tonight. I am sipping a little bit of the secret sauce. from 2017. A little something, something. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. I thought, oh yeah, 2017. Back when we were starting to do a little bit of something here in this country. And when we take a look here, Rosie Rios, acknowledging what we stand for, what I don't think is political. Folks tell me stick to crypto, bro. I'm going to stick to taking advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. I don't care about politics. I care about some folks call it getting rich. Some talk about building wealth. I think there is a big difference. And for me, it is about building wealth and being able to give back to the community and being able to save this country so that we can have the best opportunity on this planet. I would love to see the American principles spread worldwide. I don't want to force it through the end of a through the end of a barrel of a gun. I want to see our ideas spread worldwide because they're the best. This is the best system. We used to have the gold standard of capital markets, just like Gary Gensler talks about. And Rosie Rios, God bless her, 43rd Treasurer of the United States, now she sits on the board of directors of Ripple. I'm excited to be in Boston, the city where it all began, to kick off the 250th anniversary of the Boston Tea Party. This historic event set the stage for our nation's founding and embodies the spirit of resistance and self-determination. Where is that being taught? Where is that being given any sort of appreciation in today's society now here in the United States? Folks are more concerned about being woke, being a joke. They wonder why they're broke. And we have a Boston Tea Party that took place 250 years ago when our country was getting started that was based off of less than a 1% tax. Look at how far we have gone. This is completely upside down. And to bring this point home, Rosie Rios, what's the data set that we have here? 43rd Treasurer of the United States, tasked with creating the new currency. She also said that we have the gold at Fort Knox and other places. I guess we have the gold, according to her. But you saw she was put there under Obama, but she's speaking on the founding and how we embody the spirit of resistance and self-determination. Now she goes to join the board of directors at Ripple. Folks, this is all underway. This is the next revolution. I pray it can be peaceful. We just want to tap into a little bit of technology. And if Gary Gensler wants to call it all security, that's fine. If he wants to battle it all out in court, that's fine. Coinbase filed the lawsuit today. We gave SEC another chance. They denied the petition from Coinbase, as we covered in the video earlier today. We gave them a chance. They didn't do it. Now Coinbase files a lawsuit against them. Love to see it. God bless it. And I absolutely love to see that Rosie Rios, the 43rd Treasurer of the United States, now that she is a board of directors at Ripple, she continues her work after serving this country, speaking on a spirit of resistance and self-determination. Now let's talk about sound money. That's what I'd love to talk about next. And maybe she's just bored and that's why she went to the board of directors at Ripple. Or maybe Ripple is a huge part of this revolution of our financial system that is underway. They need an excuse. I don't know which black swan scenario they're going to pick. They already got a couple that are popping off. But we definitely know that the work is being done here to celebrate the 250th anniversary of this country. She's been working on that project. She's been working with Ripple. And I just love to see it. This spirit of resistance and self-determination. God bless it. Now, we also look at points back here in history to see what happens next. Future proves past is the saying as it goes. Does this timeline look familiar? September 2007, market soars after Fed cuts key rate by 0.5 point. October 2007, the Dow Jones hits an all-time high of 14,000. What has happened now? There's so much money in the system that the Dow Jones has already gone to an all-time high before we even got to rate cuts. The delusion in this market, though, is similar to 2007 when they thought that party was going to go on forever. They thought that it wasn't going to stop. And 1 year later, the market fell by 35% in 2008, and we had the crash that led to the Great Financial Crisis, one of the longest recessions that we've had in the past few decades. 1 year later, the market fell by 35%. This time, it's exaggerated. We haven't even made it to rate cuts. And you're seeing what these guys are talking about, how bullish we've all got. And even in crypto, as I've been saying, this is the beginning of the next bull run. It's just that we have to get out of this macro situation. We have to get the black swan. We have to get the excuse for the Fed to come back in, make that money printer go burr, cut interest rates, and start the party back up. In the meantime, watch out for systemic events that will absolutely sacrifice these markets, including crypto, just like what happened in March of 2020. After Bitcoin ran up 340% during all of 2019, and we thought everything was going to be great, Mr. Donald Trump was going to keep making it great, and the market was going to keep going up forever. And then you saw what happened next. In 2020, March of 2020, Bitcoin crashed by 60%, and that was just during the month of March. But from the top, that was a move that was about 70%. From 3,000 to 14,000, back down to 3,800. Do we get something similar? Yes, I firmly believe that. Am I still incredibly bullish on XRP and other digital assets? Absolutely. Do I think that the stocks can still have a party? Sure. Are they set for a major correction? Absolutely. Way overvalued. And we're yet to be seen how crypto will behave during an extended recession. We had a V-shaped recovery in 2020. The good news for us investors is that I believe that we get another V-shaped recovery because that money printer is coming back on. They got to ease it for the election. And we need to feel comfortable when we go to that poll to cast our vote. Now, the other signal that we just picked up on is Jim Kramer, one of these talking head pundits on CNBC that we're talking about here. And this is what he has to say. As I mentioned, he's talking about the bears getting trapped. He's trying to make fun of folks like myself that are just saying, be careful out here. Although I have positions in crypto digital assets that absolutely rip and roar when inflation comes back. Absolutely are set to go up. And one of our Patreon Discord community members, Ray, had asked me in a direct message earlier today, what happens here? Will the crypto bull run stop because of this? And I said, it's going to be affected. I believe that, yes, we will have a pullback, but then the bull run continues, just like it did in 2020. That's when Bitcoin took off, new all-time highs, and then we ran all the way up and we double tapped off of 65,000 in 2021 and then off of 69,000 later in November. That was the finish of that bull run. I think that we have something similar playing out where we might have a little bit of a pullback. A systemic event takes place sometime between now and March, looks prime for me. But then the party continues on. But let's listen in on what Jim Kramer has to say.
This is the about face that the bulls were waiting for. It's the comeuppance for the myriad bears who never embraced the possibility that Powell could engineer a soft landing, a terrific soft landing. And this one's so soft it barely counts as a landing at all.
Everyone
those
clap.
Bears are now trapped. There's nothing they can do except try to rip their legs out of the jaws of those bear traps. Oh, good luck. I'm told those things really hurt, especially when you're short. This is the about.
And I laugh at this. I only lost once shorting Bitcoin over the last year. And I'm not here to toot my horn. I'm just here to say, these guys want to act like the bears are getting wrecked. No, we played it perfectly, dang near. I played it perfectly. And I dumped all of it into XRP. Whether you want to agree with that decision or not, that's fine. That's what I did. But these guys want to act like the bears are trapped. The bears are dead. You know, I heard it's painful, especially when you go short. It's exclusively how I've made my money during the bear market in cryptocurrency. other than, XRP still had a massive recovery in our other assets. I'm up on all my positions that I hold right now. So the bears are not wrecked, right? The bears like myself are just remaining cautious. We see the same warning signals. And so you have to position yourself accordingly. You can't just put on the blinders. Let's take a look at what's happening in the real economy. Used cars. Oh, wait, we just stripped that out of any inflation gauge because that's an uncomfy number, right? We don't need to include used cars, shelter, energy. We don't need to include any of that. Food. Strip all that out. Here's a wild stat from the car dealership guy. The 2.1% decrease in used cars from October to November is the largest ever recorded for the period. Dealers can't afford to sit on idle cars. Meanwhile, Jim Kramer and these guys want to talk about a soft landing, and they want to act like one's achieved. I didn't bring up the article, and this is not a joke to me. We literally have them reporting on a record amount of homelessness in this country. I'm not here to just make a meme about and laugh on it, but I'm here to share that and bring that back to how the heck can you report that this is a soft landing just because some asset prices are still going up a little bit? Dow Jones has set a new all-time high. That's fine. If I need to allocate some money today, well, most of these people can't even, we have a record amount of homelessness. The average person that needs to make a move, they can't even try to make 5 or 10% on their money. It's not good enough because of the real rate of inflation. And now you're seeing, when you look at the real data points, even though they're manipulated, take them for what they're worth, you can see very clearly. New York Fed's Empire State Index tumbles to 4-month low. Manufacturing side of the economy is struggling. Is this included in a soft landing? Please give me the definition of a soft landing. Is it a record amount of homelessness? The survey, this was expected to come in. Economists had expected a reading of 4. That would be a positive 4. And it retreated from 24 points to 9.1 in the prior month. They were expecting a positive reading of 4. It came in at negative 14.5, folks. Empire State Manufacturing. Key data point, key indicator. So even using their manipulated data, you can see what's taking place. A full summary right here from Geneva Roche Dector. Huge week. Let's take a sip of our adult beverage or whatever you guys are sipping on. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. It's been a massive week. That's why we had to run up a live session tonight. Let's get our recap. She says that this has, been one of the craziest years that she's ever seen. And she's been in finance for 15 years. Certified financial advisor. S&P rallies 2.7%, now only 1.6% away from record high. Dow and NASDAQ hit all-time highs. Fed holds rates unchanged, expects 3 rate cuts in 2024. That's the average of what they're saying is to be expected. But then we saw Fed member John William go on CNBC and say that it is premature to be thinking about March rate cuts. And he said, remember, this is the Fed member that said that they're not even talking about rate cuts right now, after Jerome Powell in his statement earlier this week said that they were. That was on Wednesday. Volatility hits a 4-year low. Retail investors are buying the most stocks since March of 2022. Jim Kramer says the recession is not coming. We just played the clip. He says the bears are trapped. I hear that hurts. No, we're doing just fine, Jim. Actually, we're doing just fine. Apple hits new record high. China's central bank injects record monthly amount into financial system. We're going to talk about the liquidity crisis here in a sec. Germany, France, and India stock markets hit all-time highs. U.S. CPI 3.1% year over year in November, in line with expectations, which that is still running hot. That is still running hot. Goldman Sachs expects Fed to start cutting rates in March, expects 2 back-to-back rate cuts of 25 basis points. Now, this is what's interesting. When you look at the dot the dot chart on the Fed on what they expect for interest rates next year, you can see that they are all over the place. There are some that are calling for 6 rate cuts, and there's some that are only calling for like 2. Okay. Alibaba hits a 52-week low. Pfizer hits a 10-year low. Pfizer's been getting wrecked. SEC holds meeting with BlackRock to discuss its spot Bitcoin ETF. We actually had 4 total, I think, maybe even more. A lot of these players are meeting with the SEC again, and SEC Chair Gensler said that they are taking a new look at the Bitcoin spot ETFs after the most recent court rulings. But they're not considering the XRP case. They're not acknowledging that victory. JP Morgan says Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin in 2024. Oh, I wonder why. 30-year mortgage rates now below 7%. That's right, folks. So the rates have now dropped below 7%. I got an upcoming real estate update that's going to be coming in here shortly. Probably going to get it recorded tomorrow or Sunday, definitely this weekend. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates. U.S. retail sales increased 0.3% in November versus the 0.1% expected. As I pointed out, although that beats expectations, let's be real here. The 0.3% growth in retail sales is just inflation still being present. That is not a sign of strength in the economy. We have the highest ever amount of credit card debt, and we have the highest interest rates on that credit card interest as well. Over $1 trillion in credit card debt. So folks are doing buy now, pay later, put it on a credit card, and they're still able to afford 0.3% inflation. That's what that data point means. An all-time high in American spend, 50% of their income on rent. This is the most unaffordable market in history. Restaurant price, and still, even though the rates have dropped to 7%, it is still the most unaffordable market in history. That's going to change, though, as prices are coming down, as we've been reporting on our real estate updates. You guys have been keeping up to date here. We're keeping it real when it comes to real estate. Some markets still going up. Congratulations. Many markets, and in particular, some markets like commercial real estate in cities, getting absolutely sacrificed. We got to hone in and be specific when we talk about it. Restaurant prices are up 24% since January of 2020. It is incredible going out to eat these days. And I know that that's an activity that many people like to do, right? I remember going, speaking of wifey, when we first started dating and doing our deal, we had, the restaurants were just opening up. And so I remember all of our dates, we were going out to restaurants to eat and stuff just to go out and support the restaurants and just to get out. You remember that? Right, this is when we were all excited that, the restaurants are open back up again. Especially in the state that I live in, it was, the deal. So we started, and that's all I was doing. I was trying to support these guys because I thought, it's a nice deal. I like the restaurants. I like being able to go out. My small town doesn't have many options. These are small town. They support some people. So I tried to go out and do my part. But it's getting really expensive to take the family out to eat. I mean, it's one thing when you're just a solo guy, a solo bachelor, don't got a family to feed. Even for yourself, though, you're spending $15 at McDonald's now. So, for us, we've been focusing on moving to eating more at home, bunker down. And as I told you guys on last night's live session, I start my negotiations at no and hope that I can convince wifey. But you know how that battle goes. Happy wife, happy life. Let's continue on. I digress. Cheers, everyone. We're having fun on a Friday Night Live. JP Morgan says that Bitcoin will outperform Ethereum. Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin. I wonder why. Restaurant prices are up 24% since January 2020. Former President Trump says the U.S. will have one of the greatest economic years the nation has ever recorded if elected in 2024. If he gets elected, it's going to be incredible. It's truly going to be incredible. The greatest transfer of wealth in world history. Some would argue that it started under Obama, but it really ramped up and accelerated to another level during Trump by reducing taxes and reducing and cutting back on regulations. It really started the transfer of wealth. And I believe that it will be completed under his term if they allow it to go through, which I think eventually it will. Eventually he will be back, but it's going to be a bumpy election cycle. So we're definitely going to be prepared for that. Bill introduced in the Senate that would force big investors to sell off all the single-family homes they own over 10 years. They actually introduced a second one of these bills as well. As I mentioned when I responded to this point initially, what did I say? I said that the hedge funds are already going to start offloading. They probably already are. And we know they are, actually. We know they are because they're not making as much money as they were. They're starting to offload these positions. But as it becomes not popular and it's going to be bad, just like their ESG score, right? These hedge funds, these Wall Street guys try to pretend like they care about saving the trees. It's an absolute joke, but nonetheless, it's not going to be, sexy to buy up neighborhoods for BlackRock anymore. Everybody now knows. And so even before the rule goes into play, even before they change these laws, and maybe they won't be able to get it through. I'm not here to debate the legality or the morality of BlackRock buying up whole neighborhoods. Probably not the best thing. But nonetheless, if they're able to get it through, or even if they're not, you're already starting to see these institutional investors have to reset their portfolios because the real estate reset is underway. This is a different ball game that we're playing on. Different playing field for real estate. Then we have U.S. consumers are spending at record levels and economists are mystified, struggling to forecast an endpoint. I think that we've been able to hone in pretty clear on our forecast on what we see right now, right? Holiday spending expected to reach record levels this year, totaling $966 billion. Have a great weekend, everyone. And this is what I said about Black Friday. It was a record year for Black Friday. That's a reflection of inflation and a reflection of the U.S. American people. We had the highest amount of excess savings in a long time. I think even ever, actually. We had over a couple trillion, I believe, at one point during 2022, it peaked. And so what's been happening over the last year in 2022 and into this year is that we've been depleting our excess savings, i.e. running up stocks, running up equities. We ran up real estate in 2022. That's when real estate peaked out. And now here this year, we've spent a record amount for the holidays. That's not a signal of strength. It's a signal of delusion. It's a signal of not taking responsibility. There's many people in the young millennial generation that now there's this whole movement of they're just not going to pay their student loan debt, whether it gets forgiven or not. You'll see it. This is going around. This is like a viral trend. Got to be trendy. I better be careful here. I better be careful. I'm not here to debate the legality or the morality of it. I'm just here to acknowledge the situation, what really is taking place. The fact that we have these data points, the mainstream talking heads try to, explain this as if it's bullish, as if we aren't going to have a recession, as if we've already achieved a soft landing, as if we've already won the fight against inflation. The Fed has not won the fight against inflation. At the bare minimum, I believe that he's going to have to keep the rates paused here for a while, unless Black Swan, and then he'll have his excuse, and then he gets to start cutting rates. But by that time, the bomb will already have gone off. The tidal wave would have already hit the city. The World War III events would have already taken place. And I say that, and I'm not trying to joke around. I'm being serious. They're already talking about cold and flu season continuing next year. I got to be careful how I talk on this, but you guys know the deal. Let's look at the liquidity crisis, why don't we? The butcher of Wall Street, Marcel, we had him on the show just about a week or so ago. What did you guys think of that session? I want to give a huge shout out to Stuart, dropping a 20 spot. Zach is right, prepare now. This is not FUD, this is not a drill. Welcome to reality. It'll smack the normies real hard. Yeah, Stuart, it's something else, right? It's like you feel like you're crazy. Our community's been so tapped in and we've been so ahead of the schedule that sometimes you feel like you're crazy. But when you look at data points like this from Marcel, and a huge shout out to Marcel for keeping us up to date on this liquidity crisis and some of the other important data points to consider. Bank Term Funding Program. And one thing I want to add, there's so many different programs that they've created for adding liquidity and for backstopping the system. Bank Term Funding Program is just another one. Hits a new high since the crash of 2020. Liquidity is tightening. Regardless of what the news wants you to believe, this is concrete proof. Absolutely. The CPI is tracking precisely as it was in the 1970s, right before gold ran up 2,200%. Sounds good to me. I'm beginning to think that Fed pivots into a cut in 2024 to make the markets pump in hopes of keeping Biden in office, LOL, followed by roaring stagflation and full-blown depression in 2024, bleeding into 2027, devaluing the living hell out of your money. Only thing that would change this is a black swan market crash and margin call situation. Well, I really am in agreement with Marcel on a lot of those points, right? You got stagflation, as we talked about on the show that we had. And a huge shout out if you're part of Marcel's community and you just joined us. I appreciate you guys for stopping on by. Our communities can jive and definitely vibe on a lot of the points that we see in both of our communities. Full-blown depression coming in if we don't turn back on that money printer, if we don't cut rates, and if we don't allow everyone to feel good, warm and fuzzy when we go to vote next year, which is what I believe that they're going to try to do. I don't try to figure out, I don't spend too much time trying to decode what the Black Swan event is going to be. I just prepare accordingly. Doesn't matter what event is chosen by the elite. What matters is that we're prepared accordingly. You guys already know. Appreciate everyone for stopping by. We're going to transition into the crypto update, Ripple's 2024 predictions. Before I do, cheers for stopping by tonight. Now, Eleanor Tarrant is back. Huge shout out. She stopped by XRP Vegas. Huge shout out to Eleanor. She says, I think that Judge Torres' words will be forever immortalized in future lawsuits against the SEC. Arbitrary and capricious is what she said, Judge Torres' ruling, right? Arbitrary and capricious was used by the group of hedge funds that sued the SEC earlier this week and now again by Coinbase. So they are using Judge Torres' ruling to set the precedent, just like we call XRP the standard. Now we're going to be using Judge Torres' ruling, historical ruling. And it's been used here by hedge funds earlier this week. And now it's being used by Coinbase once again. We covered it in the video earlier today, Coinbase suing SEC. We absolutely love to see it. Now, let me clear up. My desk is an absolute mess. I apologize, folks. Do you guys keep a clean desk, or is your guys' desk an absolute mess like mine? Well, one thing that we do keep organized is our folders. And I don't have these for Christmas. I have these to separate out our documents. This is for the Ethereum Free Pass. I had to just pick this one up, and then I picked up the red folder as well, because we got both of our documents here, as we've been talking about, as we fought out all these folks that tried to hate on us for setting an insurance policy. They tried to make it about the buyback at 50K. It wasn't about the buyback. It wasn't about 50K. It was about insurance policy and creating and really stirring up, inspiring one of the biggest conversation that we've had about fair market value of XRP. It really inspired the community. And what it also did was set a precedent. No, we understand that our XRP is incredibly valuable. So if you try to confiscate it, just like you did with gold, we understand what's taking place. And as we've proven, and as Judge Torres points out here, they're arbitrary and capricious, the damages are massive. As Steven Narioff has pointed out, I had to get another folder because now I'm adding Steven Narioff's documents to the Ethereum Free Pass folder as well. They're kind of on it's all kind of one issue. The main issue is, can we save our country from the three-letter bureaucracy beast, these agencies, the SEC, the FBI, the IRS, the DOJ, that have been weaponized against us and literally weaponized against anybody that tries to make this country have an opportunity for capitalists to prosper. If they're capitalists that are trying to use DLT, the SEC tells them to come on in. They settle up in lawsuits with Kraken. They settle up, and then 10 months later, they sue them again. Now, as Eleanor Tarrant is pointing out here, the Judge Torres ruling is setting the standard. Because now we have Coinbase, which is citing it again in the lawsuit that they have filed. And this is the energy that I'm talking about. The damages are absolutely massive. This is not political. This is not about XRP. This is much bigger. XRP is one chapter in the story. Promises made, promises kept. We are now on file with the Third Circuit to challenge the SEC's arbitrary and capricious denial of our petition for crypto rulemaking. All we ever wanted was a level playing field. Huge shout out to Paul Gerwal and Coinbase. I wish they would have kept XRP listed during the SEC lawsuit, but I understand. They're a company that's trying to do things the right way, trying to work with the regulators. We again appreciate the court's consideration. Let's give them hell. Because it's just ridiculous to see them denying this petition on the crypto rulemaking, and meanwhile, they continue to file lawsuits before Congress has set the rules of the road. Now, the good news is that's about to change even more big time. That's about to change big time in 2024. This is why I wanted to cover Ripple's 2024 predictions here today, because this is so critical. The final piece that was missing for Ripple's suite of offerings, from the best liquidity in the world to now institutional grade custody, well, the final piece that was missing was crypto custody solutions. Medico acquisition by Ripple was one of the biggest deals done in crypto history. Folks need to understand that. Folks are dismissing this. Folks don't understand how big of a deal this is. And now you're seeing Ripple reflecting that, backing that up, because they've been sharing a lot of comments and they've really been highlighting, Adrian Treccani, who is the SVP product. Adrian Treccani was the founder and CEO at Medico, and he currently heads up the organization still. A key pillar in what Ripple is building out right here. His predictions and the fact that they've been highlighting and really showcasing Medico as of late has me just reiterating the point that this was an absolutely massive acquisition. As we pointed out, we knew the M&A was going to grow. You've already seen M&A has grown massively during the past year, and especially in the crypto digital asset space during the bear market. Deals like this, Ripple picking over the carcass of FTX. They were looking at Fortress Trust. They passed up on it. The deal wasn't worth it. But the acquisition of Medico, yes, please. Thank you very much. Critical piece of infrastructure. Adrian Treccani, founder and CEO of Medico, his predictions for 2024. As the industry looks to leave behind the problems it experienced during 2023, a new paradigm is emerging. The crypto industry isn't courting financial institutions as it once was. It doesn't need to. Global banks and industry giants are actively seeking digital asset solutions to satiate client demand for efficient, transparent, and on-demand financial services. Let's go. In the last year, we've announced partnerships with several global banks, and in 2024, we expect adoption rates to continue to soar. Banks are experimenting with tokenized assets and the need to be able to do so with confidence inside the framework of strict compliance and security protocols, as well as smooth integrations. This has been such a massive deal for Ripple. Many folks still don't understand how big it is, but we're starting to see here Ripple shine the spotlight on this company and how critical it's going to be towards their end mission. Not only can you partner up with Ripple to source the best liquidity in the world, and that's only going to get better with the AMM coming to the XRPL, and now we know that Ripple is moving some of their on-demand liquidity flows to the DEX. This is going to start to move price. Why does XRP price never move? Because they're always selling over the counter. And because their on-demand liquidity flows were running through centralized exchanges and not the DEX. Now, that is starting to change. And the amount of liquidity that will be flowing on the XRP ledger will exponentially grow from here. The $10 billion that they're doing in on-demand liquidity over 2022 was just the start. It's been growing 9, almost 10 times year over year. It's just beginning. We now have legal clarity here in the United States. So any institutions that have pulled up to Ripple and said, hey, can we sign a little deal? Can we do a little dealio for a little bit of XRP? As we highlighted in last night's show, R3 acquired 1 billion XRP after they settled up for lawsuit with Ripple. They wanted to originally get 5 billion. But what was so key about that was the historical rule changing to the accounting practices for digital assets on the balance sheets of these corporations. Last night we covered it. R3 scoops 1 billion XRP before historic change is what the video was titled. But it was a historic change to the accounting rules. Instead of having to mark for the quarter the lowest price that the asset traded at, and I shared last night on the charts, Bitcoin was down at 26,000 this quarter. So the current rules as they stand right now, for example, for Tesla, for MicroStrategy. These companies have to report not the fair market value, they have to report the lowest value that these assets traded at during the quarter. This kills their earnings, or could potentially really hurt their earnings, right? And is going to affect their share price as well. Inevitably going to affect their share price as well. This historic change goes into effect in 2025, just like the Bank of International Settlements ruling that now in 2025, the new rules is that their reserves can be in 2% digital assets for central banks. Now you're starting to see all of this come together. The Ripple partners just continue to grow. Meanwhile, the rest of the space is in contraction. Sure, some meme coins are pumping here and there. Where's the real utility at? Can you show me another project that is getting the amount of people to actually use the token XRP that Ripple has been able to do? And I'm about to talk about Plow stablecoin project here in one sec. 2024 predictions from Chief Legal Officer Stuart Alderati. 3 bold predictions. Let's get it. In 2024, the last bit of the SEC's misguided lawsuit against Ripple will finally come to an end. You heard it here, folks. This is it. You have a few months left to go before this case is going to be potentially completely behind us. I know a lot of folks are worried about an appeal. Judge Torres has already exposed them. Ripple and their lawyers, their killer assassin lawyers, already exposed them completely. Coinbase is now suing them. Steven Narioff is sounding the alarm and exposing the SEC, the Department of Justice, and the FBI. Probably a few other regulators as well. But you are seeing a prediction here from the chief legal officer of Ripple. The same guy that after this lawsuit, the most recent rulings, what did he say? It's only a matter of time before U.S. institutions come out and use XRP. You don't just come out and say that when you're the chief legal officer of these companies. You can't. You can't. Brad Garlinghouse can't just come out and say that 99% of crypto is going away. You can't do it. They won't let you. Chief Legal Officer of Ripple, stating that the case, the misguided lawsuit against Ripple, will finally be coming to an end in 2024. We are so close to the finish line, folks. And you know what's funny? Is it's the finish line of the lawsuit. It's not going to be the finish line of price for XRP. We get utility growing this thing for years to come. Just because the lawsuit ends next year doesn't mean that's the end of the party. It might be the all-time high prices achieved for XRP in 2024, and that's that for XRP, before we build the next space up, before we continue up. But we will continue up. You have this case being put completely behind us. It's not all the way behind us yet. On top of that, you also have the Ripple IPO. On top of that, you have a tidal wave of liquidity, as you're seeing with the ETF hype, that is coming into the digital asset space. XRP is about to just melt faces when this thing actually runs. It's going to crash all these exchanges too, in my opinion. But I digress. Let's go in. The SEC's campaign of regulation by enforcement will continue against other industry leaders. This is what Stuart Alderati is predicting, as we just saw with the Coinbase deal here today. Of course, the SEC refuses to give us any sort of guidance or clarity or work with us. They would rather continue their Operation Choke Point campaign of regulation by enforcement. Judges will continue to be the last line of defense against the SEC's overreach. And the SEC will continue to lose major issues in the courts, setting the table for a showdown in the Supreme Court. Uh-oh. And we know that Stuart Alderati and Brad Garlinghouse took a little selfie in front of that Supreme Court, didn't they? We're not afraid to go all the distance. Ripple's been flexing that the whole time. First off, they got the bag, and second off, they got the legal assassins. A lot better lawyers than the SEC has, by the way. Putting on an absolute clinic. Completely. We didn't even get, we just started to show what was going on a little bit. We started to expose these guys a little bit. And then Steven Narioff came behind. folks. And we have a lot more that we've uncovered just within the XRP community in the sleuths, the work that we've done. They want to take it all the way to Supreme Court. Let's go. But as he notes, the judges around, and as I've been saying, God bless this country for still having somewhat of a rule of law. Has it gone absolutely crazy? Has it gone absolutely lawless in some places? Absolutely. Are there corrupt judges across this country? Absolutely. And that was one of the biggest shifts, actually, was when Trump actually put in the most amount of new judges, I believe, that any president has done. Huge shift. And then the final prediction from Stuart Alderoty is that Congress will agree in principle on crypto regulation, but will disagree on the best course of action, leaving U.S. crypto firms stuck while the rest of the world makes significant positive strides. And he's alluding to the DC dance. As we started out this episode, it is literally a joke. The DC dance is one of the most dirty, corrupt. These people are absolutely sick. It is an absolute embarrassment, and I am ashamed as an American to see what is taking place there in DC. Meanwhile, the rest of the space, the rest of the country is adopting this technology, giving rules to the road, and working with entrepreneurs and capitalists that are trying to bring the benefits of DLT technology to the people. And speaking on bringing the benefits of technology to the people, are you in this space just to catch a meme coin pump? Or do you actually want to move humanity forward? That is my question for the night as I bring up my last point here for the evening. Is I was thinking about this today because everybody wants to cash in on a meme coin pump and they're mad that XRP hasn't pumped. I get it. As I've been saying, if you want to go gamble on a meme coin, go ahead. If you can't help yourself, go ahead. Go gamble on a meme coin. Go try to trade. Report, let me know in the comments down below what your trade is going to be. Cardano's pumped. Bonk coin. What is it? Bonk. Jesus coin. We covered Jesus coin. If you can't help yourself, go gamble. And then you're going to probably have to ask for forgiveness later because you're going to get wrecked trading the memes. Because what always happens is the insiders get paid. The people that launch the project and the people that promote the project. I don't deal with that crap. If I cover a project, I tell you if I own it, and most of these projects I don't even buy. You guys know, I have a few cryptos, that's it. Unlike the rest of these influencers that just pump and dump on their audience. It's just sick. Are you here for a meme coin pump, which God bless it. I'd love to make some money trading as well. That's great. That's fine. But what I'm here for is to change the world. Put a dent in the universe, just like Ripple stated. Make XRP a world reserve currency. Simple goals. I like simple goals, but I also like big targets. Big targets, simple goals. Make XRP a world reserve currency. Get XRP to a higher price, And the problem is, it's going to be inevitable because the dollar continues to be devalued. XRP is the standard, not just in the legal battlefield right now, as we've just highlighted, but also in the technology and what the ledger is going to be able to do. The additional utility coming to it, as I've been mentioning so often here in our most recent episodes, the utility is coming that the rest of the space had, and the utility over there didn't even work. Avalanche. I just saw, to use Avalanche, they're looking at $20-something gas fees with Ethereum and everything. It's like even the layer 2s that are meant to scale up, they're not working. And then Arbitrum crashed and it was down earlier today, I believe, or was that yesterday? Just like all these solutions that are supposed to make this thing better, none of them work. Meanwhile, utility that comes to the XRPL, it actually works. It doesn't crash our ledger. It's not an absolute joke. It's not the biggest flop in the cryptocurrency space like Ethereum 2.0 was. Are you here for a meme coin pump, or are you here to change the world? because that's what I'm here for. And I want to highlight Palau because this is what we're talking about. This is the XRPL and the XRP token changing the world. Are we going to catch a little bit of gains? It's inevitable. It's absolutely inevitable. But it's also going to be a part of changing the world, resetting our system, a revolution in the financial world. What you're seeing right here is a tweet from Anthony Welfare. And this is very interesting. This XRP Ledger Palau stablecoin is a digital currency backed one-to-one with the US dollar held in an FDIC insured commercial bank. This is what most people don't understand about this. They put US dollars in an FDIC insured bank, one-to-one backed US dollars. It was $20,000. It was really small. This is a small island country of Palau. No big deal, right? This is what the haters say. Oh, Palau's not even a big country. And what they love to say is that Palau doesn't have a central bank. So this isn't a CBDC live on the XRPL. Okay, you're right. Technically speaking, this isn't a CBDC live on the XRPL. Even though we know that Ripple has over like a dozen CBDCs live on the private version of the XRPL, which is interoperable with the public version of the XRPL. But that's, the haters don't like to mention that fact, do they? But this is a stablecoin, a US dollar backed stablecoin on the mainnet XRPL. And I wanted to make a couple points on this. You have this being insured in an FDIC insured bank. This is a proxy for a US dollar backed stablecoin on that. This is the real thing. It's not even a proxy. This is the real thing. If our Federal Reserve wanted to issue US dollar on the XRPL, this is how you do it. Or if any other country wanted to issue their native currency on the XRPL, this is how you do it. And we already know that there's over a dozen central banks that are already working with Ripple. They're just working on the private version. It's all going to be interoperable at the end of the day. And XRP is still going to be that reserve currency at the end of the day. Now, I wanted to highlight this. The solution enables offline payments so that if there is a power outage or data loss, transactions can still be made. This is changing the world. This is putting a dent in the universe. This isn't talking. This isn't being cute. This isn't doing a pump and dump. Oh, what's the next pump, bro? This is not what I'm in this space for. Yes, I want to make money. We're going to make a bunch of money. We already are. Shorting Bitcoin. Sorry, not sorry. We're going to make a lot more with XRP because this ledger is getting it done. This is what the rest of the world needs. And the ability to send offline payments. You think about the rest of the world that isn't even brought online through the internet. You have power outages and all these issues taking place. You have so many issues that our world faces. Can XRP solve them all? No. But are they getting real deals done? Yes, absolutely. And this is from J. Hunter Anson, who shared this, that yesterday the Republic of Palau Ministry of Finance officially launched the phase 2 of the Palau stablecoin program based on a one-to-one tokenized US dollar. Now, this is the deal, guys. I sent a message to Jay earlier today because some folks are confused and they think that now the Palau stablecoin in phase 2 is moving to the CBDC private layer that Ripple created. So phase 1 was on the public XRPL, and many folks are now thinking, based off of what Jay had to say in his tweet, that they're using the private version of the XRPL created by Ripple. I sent Jay a DM, and if you missed the interview that I did with Jay, just go to my playlist and go to the interviews playlist, and it should be listed there. My interview with J. Hunter Anson, he's a government employee from Belize, and he was on my show, believe it or not. It was a lot of fun. And Jay responded to my question. I wanted to clarify, is the next phase on the public XRPL going to be on the public XRPL, or is it going to be on Ripple's private CBDC platform? He responded and he says, we haven't determined if we will use the public or private ledger yet. Phase 2 includes building out the solution design for a larger, full production ecosystem. So those are some of the questions on our list to resolve. They're still figuring this out. It was an overwhelming, tremendous success, phase 1. Phase 2, they still haven't determined whether or not they're going to be using the public or the private yet. And he says, this is a great question. Keep them coming, please. Folks, this is government leaders stepping up and doing what's best for their people. This is changing the world using DLT technology. This isn't catching a pump, bro. This is actually changing the world. And I don't say this to try to be some altruist, we're going to solve all the world's problems and solve world hunger with XRP and world peace with XRP. Even though, we've talked about it. Let's be real. We have a currency debt and liquidity crisis. And when it comes to actually solving and the currency wars that we now see taking place, what solves that? A neutral bridge currency in between. XRP is ready to serve that purpose. Could it prevent World War III? It probably could. Are the world leaders and the elite going to let that happen? Probably not. It's not really a laughing matter, but I say that jokingly about XRP. And this is the government responsibility and accountability here being taken to a new level. The transparency being taken to a whole new level, putting their stablecoin on the public XRPL. But he responds to me here today and says they haven't chosen public or private yet. They're still working things out. But what's going to be important, as always, is that interoperability, not just with being able to settle in XRP, but also being able to have the additional utilities that are coming to the XRPL. When you want to be able to tap into the AMM, think about Plow stablecoin versus US dollar. Think about Plow stablecoin versus the Chinese renminbi. Because you have to understand that there's been a lot of there's a lot of Chinese investors in Plow, and then Plow has chosen to still use the US dollar. So that's just one example, right? You get these different liquidity pools that could tap into the AMM. This is just one example. And Plow is just one small country that makes up hundreds of little islands. It's a very unique use case and test that is taking place down there. But it goes to show that we're not just talking about changing the world. We're not just throwing it out there to be cool and to pump our crypto bags, bro. That we're going to put a dent in the universe and we're going to make XRP a world reserve currency. It's actually about, can we save humanity? You give people decentralized currency. You give them decentralized media. And you give them a decentralized voting system, you will set the people free. This is the fight that we find ourselves in the middle of. This is the fight that I'm going to continue to fight. May God help us win this battle. I see Stuart dropped another 1776. Fear or freedom, you have a choice, and it ain't Bitcoin. Stuart, I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, Bitcoin does a deal. Bitcoin does a little deal, doesn't it? I appreciate the love, Stuart. I see so many familiar faces, but I see so many familiar usernames and profile pictures there in the comments down below. What do you guys say? Should we run up and keep up our Q&A session here tonight? We have a little bit of adult beverage to finish. TZ says XRP should be over 2,000 if the SEC didn't file their lawsuit against Ripple. Another reason that XRP will skyrocket once case is settled. I'm not afraid to talk about crazy numbers, but I don't know if it would have hit 2,000 last bull run. I think it definitely would have gone and, done 2 to 3x the previous all-time high, which is my initial targets that I see for XRP. The initial targets that I might take some profit off the table. Not taking much. I would rather just own this world reserve currency and I'll be able to benefit from the utility that it brings me. And we'll be able to benefit from putting it on our balance sheet as well, with the significant price appreciation that I expect for the asset as well. Stuart, that's why we do what we do. We help educate others because we're running out of time. 100%. And if you guys didn't catch what I said at the very beginning, guys, let me just be very clear. I'm going to take your guys' Q&A. Drop your comments and questions down below. And while you guys are dropping your comments, we have 2 wallet affiliates at my website, ZachRector.com. I just secured a 10% discount for EliPal. So if you go to my website, ZachRector.com, you go to the Crypto Wallets tab, you will find EliPal and you will find Trezor. With EliPal, use the discount code WEALTH. That's all caps, WEALTH. Use that discount code to get an additional 10% off your investment with EliPal. With Trezor, they just notified me that they did a permanent price drop on the Model T and one other model as well. So please go take advantage of that. If you are looking to get wallets, the reason why I have that link for you guys available is so that you can get a better price on these investments that you're making. Same thing for the link down below. If you guys want to buy Ripple stock, if you guys want to invest in a bunch of other private equity opportunities that Link2 has, the reason why I have the link down below for Link2 is because if you're a new investor, you can get $500 towards your first investment. Let's do your Q&A. I just wanted to plug that real quick because I know everybody's freaked out about Ledger. I'm not here to tell you what wallet to pick. I don't tell you what exchange to do. I don't give you financial, tax, or legal advice. I make sure that you guys can get a deal. That's why I have my affiliate links. Q&A. Let's roll. What's up with all these NFT vouchers on Ledger? I'm sketched out. I don't know what that's about. Be careful playing in this space still, guys. There's so many scams. Any new dates or meetings with the SEC versus Ripple? I believe that we had some stuff that was taking place this month, didn't we? Didn't we have, what are we at now? We're at the final judgment on, final judgment. I guess, didn't they have to talk about settlement? I thought that they had to talk about settlement. Was that in November? I got to go back and look at that. Let me make a note on that. Lawsuit timeline, lawsuit schedule. That's what I need to write down. I'll double check that. I'll let you guys know. We got the Discord weekly calls tomorrow morning. That's at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 Eastern. If you're looking to get tapped in with our investment community, just go to my website, ZachRector.com. Sign up through Patreon to get access to Discord. And our weekly calls are every Saturday. So that's tomorrow morning. Where are we on the AMM vote count? I think we're at like 17. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up and let's take a look. Okay, so on clawback, we're at 21, 61%. AMM, we're at 16. Maybe somebody pulled their vote. I thought we were at 17. XRP fees is at 55%. And, okay, which one's already passed? Okay, reduced offers passed and token remit passed. 11/24. Okay, so I think that these are concluding their 2-week timeline. Once again, after something hits 80% consensus, then it has to remain there for 2 weeks before the amendment is accepted and adopted. Okay. Now, another fix that already came in was disallow incoming. It looks like that one happened rather quickly as it got 30 votes right away. That's pretty impressive. Actually, that was in August. Okay. But yeah, so it looks like we're at 19 votes for XRP fees. We have reduced offers and these two fixes, basically. These two fixes have already been accepted at 80% consensus. Now we wait for them to be adopted. I guess now they've been enabled since that's a yes. I believe that they've now been enabled. And then with the AMM, we're now at 16. Clawback, we're at 21. Which is only 61% consensus, and AMM is at 47% consensus. XRP fees has 19 votes, 55% consensus. This is your XRP chart. Backtest of 58 cents a couple times here. Good support being built out for XRP. Between 55 cents is our major support. But then you can also see Back up to 70 cents a few times here. That's XRP zoomed out. You see, the 70 cent level has been pierced a couple times. Tapped it one last time here on last Friday. That was 1 week ago. We hit up to this level, 70 cents once again. Back down to 62 cents right now for XRP. Another back test of 60 cents today. Another back test of 60 cents yesterday. Quickly bought up. For Bitcoin, same thing. Down to 41,450. 41,600 today. Back up to 42,250. Watching it closely. Have you guys dropped your comments or questions down below? We're doing rapid fire Q&A. Let's rock and roll. I don't think that Ledger was a problem as long as you didn't log in. Yeah, as long as you weren't playing around with too much Web3, you didn't make yourself vulnerable. It really wasn't, I mean, it was an issue. It kind of brings our trust with Ledger into question, but I've already gone to other solutions. Have I looked into the gaming sector? Yes, I believe that it's massive, but only for as far as what the big time games are going to choose for cryptocurrency. So whatever currency GTA 6 picks, that's going to be massive. Whether they create their own, whether they do their own deal, that's going to be important. That's going to be important. GTA 6, Call of Duty, the big games. These other games, I've not seen anything that's impressive. The graphics usually suck and the games look like they suck. But the gaming sector is massive. Multi-billion-dollar industry, absolutely massive. Randy, that's a great point. Great question. Which ramen should I eat next month? Beef or chicken? Randy, I was going to put out a little smart tweet and try to make a funny joke about it, but eating ramen to remind myself that a soft landing will not occur. That was the tweet that I was going to put out. I never ended up putting it out, but I did eat ramen tonight. What is the spicy? It's almost too hot for me. I'm kind of soft when it comes to the spicy foods. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of soft when it comes to the spicy stuff. We had the spicy ramen tonight. So I did eat ramen tonight, right there with you guys. Actually, kind of like, I know it's kind of crap, but, it's kind of tasty, kind of something different. Clears out the sinuses, a little too spicy. Makes me shed a little tear. Just kidding, it's not that bad. But I can't handle much heat. I cannot handle much. Good question, though. Let me know what ramen you guys are going to be eating next month. I'm going to be eating ramen even after XRP moons, too. Wow, Christy, that's crazy. Come on, Zach. It'll put hair on your chest. I can't handle the heat. Yeah, gaming already is huge. I agree, Stuart. Great point. Yeah, it is absolutely huge. But I don't like tokens that are just like, I don't chase things just to chase. AI's hype, Metaverse was hype, NFTs were hype, DeFi was hype. What do you guys say? Should we keep it rolling? Have we had enough of a session here tonight? Appreciate you guys for stopping by. What did gold and silver? So silver back up to $24 per ounce. Cooled off a little bit here. This is when Jerome Powell spoke, was on Wednesday, when we got the God candle that came in for silver, and the same one came in for gold as well, back above 2,000 per ounce. shoot, I just realized it's already 9:30. I forgot I fired up this session so late. It's 12:30 on the East Coast. This is a late one. I'm going to wrap up this session, guys. I appreciate everyone for stopping by. Like I said, we have our Discord weekly call tomorrow morning. If you're looking to get tapped in, ZachRector.com has the private group and all of the community resources. If you use discount code WEALTH when you buy your EliPal, you will get 10% off. And our other affiliate, Trezor, just did a permanent price drop on some of our favorite wallets as well. So go take advantage of that. That's all at my website, ZachRector.com. If you guys can do me a favor on the way out, I greatly appreciate it if you like the video. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we will see you guys tomorrow morning. By the way, we lined up another special interview. We have Reaper Financial CEO Patrick Riley. I'm going to be recording the session tomorrow with Patrick. It is going to be absolutely massive. I'm really looking forward to that one. So we got some more interviews on the way. Make sure you guys stay tapped in. We will see you guys this weekend. A lot of content coming your way. Hope everyone had a great Friday. Let's have a blessed weekend. And hopefully we can continue to run up XRP and our other favorite digital assets from here. With that being said, have a great night. We'll see you in the next one. God bless.